This is hilarious. Okay.
Your go.
Whoa.
Since you're holding it.
It is my go?
Yeah.
All right. We gotta find a loose one. There are no loose ones. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Pretty good this time.
Here we go. Okay. Huh? No. Yes. I see a little system here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to end well because it's going to leave us with no choice.
Yep. Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, nice.
Ah!
This is not going to end well. You're right. Okay, here we go. It's not going to end well for you. Wait, right?
I want to win.
So do I. Oh, wait a minute. What's happening?
You got about 4 or 5 of them going on right now.
There we go. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Now what do I do? Oh. I can take from anywhere, right?
Yeah, you can take from anywhere.
All right. Now you're going to be up the creek.
I know. You just toss them up there. You don't have any.
I know. Oh boy.
That's not good.
All right, so we're.
Hello there, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Tracy Scoggins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married and I have 3 children. They are 11, 13, and almost 15.
Great, and we're going to talk about orphan hosting today because you're my little expert in that because you've done it a few times.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you get involved in hosting?
So back years ago, we did interim care for Bethany Christian Services, and I loved doing that. But once our youngest went to kindergarten, I felt like I needed to go back to work. So that kind of limited what we were able to do as far as orphan care. And I saw some friends at church, and they were doing something called orphan hosting.
Okay.
And basically, an orphan comes from Ukraine or Latvia. It used to be China. They don't do it anymore. And they would come for 4 weeks at Christmas or 5 to 8 weeks during the summer. And since I am a preschool teacher, I thought that would work because I'm off in the summers. And we watched our friends do it, and they had a great experience. And so we decided to give it a try.
Okay.
So we hosted our first orphan, I guess it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, something, and I was really intrigued. But I was a little nervous because they don't speak English.
Ah.
Yeah.
That should be
So it is very interesting. There's a lot of gesturing, you know, go up, wash your hair, take a shower, drive in the car, go somewhere. Just a lot of charades. Okay. That's how we communicate.
So what ages have you hosted so far?
Our first was a girl from Ukraine, and she was 14.
Oh, wow.
Our second was a 7-year-old boy from China. And then we had a 10-year-old boy from China. And then we had a 12-year-old boy from China. Oh. And then tomorrow, actually, we are picking up our 13-year-old boy from Ukraine.
Oh, great.
Yep.
So the process itself, what do you have to go through in order to be an orphan host? Okay.
So I think, well, we've used different organizations, but they're all pretty much the same as far as what you have to do. There is a fee involved. It's about $3,000 to host. Okay. But every time we've done it, God's provided it. We do fundraisers, or we just ask people if they want to help, or we just pay it. We've done all of those things, and we've never come up short. It's always been provided. So that's the big one, but don't let that scare you because it'll be there. So you have to have a social worker come out to your house and do just a home safety check. Make sure you have fire alarms, fire extinguisher, all those things. A bed for the child to sleep in. And then there's a application that you have to do. And then you and your spouse, if there's a spouse, you have to do your own application and kind of give your testimony or whatever. Okay. I'm sure there's more. Oh, referrals. Had to have a referral from our pastor, referral from friends. It is a bit of a lengthy process, but it's worth it. It's not bad. Plow through.
So you are a mother of 3. Yeah. Was it hard to get the kids to come along and agree to be host brothers and sisters?
A little bit. They were very nervous about the language barrier. But kids, their international language is play.
Yeah.
And so, you don't need to speak English to go kick the soccer ball or whatever. But we did have to have a lot of talks about where these kids are coming from. They're coming from hard places.
Yeah.
And we have found, both in China and Eastern Europe, that the orphanage mentality, they don't really have things that belong to them. So everything is just communal. And so my kids had to get used to that. They would come in and just grab whatever toys they saw. And so we just learned that if you have something special that you don't want messed with, hide it. Just put it away. Otherwise, everything is free game. And so that's been a good lesson for them.
Well, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the situations that the orphans come from when they come to you.
Okay. Well, we've had different situations. So our first girl did come from an orphanage and lived in an orphanage. The second, third, and fourth child that we hosted from China, they were in foster homes. But the foster homes there are a bit different, and the foster homes in Eastern Europe are definitely very different. It's a job, just a job, straight up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they took classes at the orphanage, went to school at the orphanage. So this child that we're about to host, he's entering 9th grade, and he's been in the orphanage since kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it's an adjustment for them to come into a family, and especially a functional family. It's not something that they really understand, but that's why we do it, so that they can know what it's like to be in a functional family, in a loving family, in a safe family. But it's definitely different. It's very beneficial. But they do say that, like, the nature of an orphanage is high structure and low nurture. So that's pretty much what you're to expect.
Okay. So when those kids, they come here for about 8 weeks.
5 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, 5 to 8 weeks. Okay. Then they return. What happens to them then?
So they return, and they're kind of, this is advertised as like American camp. So to them, it's a camp, it's a vacation, it's a time to get away. And if we were told that even just being chosen to come is a huge boost to their self-esteem, that someone picked them, someone saw them and picked them. And so they learn a ton of English in the 5 weeks. It's incredible how much they learn. So it's a great experience, just culturally, for them to come to America. A lot of them have never left their town. So to get on an airplane and come here, it's a huge deal for them. And a lot of people say, well, isn't it cruel to send them back, to show them the good life and send them back? Well, it's kind of like when we as Americans go to Disney World. That's a magical time and it's amazing, but we don't live in Disney World. We have to come back. But that doesn't mean you don't go, because it's a vacation and you want to go. So it's kind of like that, but also orphan hosting is a really great way for older orphans to find their adoptive families. 2 of the boys that we've hosted were adopted. One lives in Nebraska and one lives in Northern Virginia. And had it not been for hosting, they wouldn't have been.
So when, I know that outside of America, like in Eastern Europe and China, the kids age out a little earlier than they do here.
In China,
opposed to 18.
Right. In China, it's 14, and in Ukraine and Latvia, it's 16. And the statistics are scary. About 10% of them will commit suicide by the time they turn 18 because they're so hopeless. The girls often will turn to prostitution, and the boys just crime, because what else are they going to do? They're turned out on the street. What else are they going to do?
So
it's really sad.
Tell me about who you host through. What is the name of the program?
Well, I'm wearing my Project 143 hat. We've hosted through them the second time. And currently we're hosting through Open Hearts, Open Homes for Children. Those are both faith-based organizations, but you don't have to go that route if that's not you. But this is a Christian organization, so they do look for Christian families. And so far I've been really impressed, and we're excited.
Oh, great.
Yeah. There's a bunch out there. New Horizons is another one. Yeah.
So how much longer are you planning on hosting?
I hope to just keep on doing it. I really love it. It's not the easiest. You get attached. And it's also, it's hard. It's tiring having someone in your home who doesn't speak English. It just is. It's exhausting. And also, their culture is so different. You literally have to teach them how to flush the toilet and put their toilet paper in the toilet and, shower and just do all these things. So it's tiring, but I just figure 5 weeks out of my life and it could literally change their life forever. It's such a small price.
Yeah.
The hope is that every time we host that child will find his forever family. We are not planning to adopt unless God moved heaven and earth. But we love to advocate, and hosting really, truly works. I know so many kids who've been adopted through hosting.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you joining me today.
I loved it. Thank you,
Such
Barry.
a wealth of information. I knew I caught the right person.
It's fun. I love talking about it. I'm very passionate about orphan hosting, and a lot of people don't know what it is. Have never heard of it.
All right.
So I'm excited to share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I will be posting a link to Tracy's agency that she will be hosting through. So you can click that at barryfarmer.com.